Hello everyone, odedex here, welcome to episode 85 of listening to Let's Play. So in the previous episode, I made all the tier 3 machines from extra bees. However, once they were made, I noticed that I have a problem with power. So at the end of the episode, I basically placed a magmatic engine together, coupled with another ender tank of the lava tank, which for now is running fine. However, this is very far from being the final solution for this problem because, yeah, the engine generates 4 Minecraft joules per tick, and this is very far from being relevant. Now, of course, I could make more of them, but I'd like to try something new. How did he get out? Let me get my portal gun before he kills himself. Not my portal gun, my gravity gun. Anyway, so this episode I'm planning to try and solve that energy issue, because then again those tier 3 machines will require a very large amount of power. Just for example, this one can use 50 Minecraft joules per tick, this one can use 100 Minecraft joules per tick, this one is 50, this one is 50, and this one is 25. Now obviously I'm not going to run all of them at once, but if whenever I do decide to run them, they will consume a lot of power. And also in addition, I was noticing that because now those machines are filling up their buffers, their internal buffers, my centrifuge here started to die effectively. It stopped. It didn't stop, but it started moving a lot slower. You can see the progress bar moves, but yeah. Anyway, just to make a long story short, I have a problem with power. So I decided to try something new. What I'm going to try and do is use Redpower to generate buildcraft energy. Now, in the latest update, or one before that, LRAM added the Blue Electric engine. It's specifically a Redpower based engine that will create Minecraft joules. It will create buildcraft energy using Redpower electricity. That's kind of the conversion between Redpower to Buildcraft if you're interested, and I am, so I'm going to give it a try. First I'm going to need to create the engines themselves. I'm going to need to create, let's go for a nice number, let's go for, actually, let's do some math here first. How many can actually for doing? Okay, let's start with 8 engines. It's quite a lot, I know. I also know that they will require a lot of electricity, but don't worry, I have plans for that all as well. So let's start by creating 8 of those, a nice number. So that means I'm going to need 16 brass gears, so... Okay, so I'm going to need a lot of brass for this project, so better start creating some more. So let's turn on my alloy furnaces. Okay. I'm gonna need some stone gears. I'm gonna need some wood for the normal gears. Better just refuel my sawmill. Get the wood from here. Okay, so I'm gonna need 16 gears. So that's a stack of sticks. Okay, so 16 of those, 16 of those, and 16 of those. Okay, I'm going to need, glass is not a problem, more brass, not a problem, but I'm going to need 8 blue electric motors. So that's a lot of iron, and that's a lot of blue alloy ingots. Do I have enough? Yeah, I should. Some iron as well. I will need copper coil. So 16 copper coil, that's a stack of the fine copper wire, so a stack of copper through my diamond drop plate. I think my diamond drop plate is dead. Actually I've used it in this project. Okay, let's get over the night quickly. Okay, so I did leave my diamond drop plate here in my frame fabrication thingy. I can probably get rid of it, but let's keep it here for now. Okay, so get my diamond drop plate for a stack of fine copper wire. Okay. What else am I going to need? Some iron bars and some iron. Should have both or not. So let's just create the iron bars. Again, a stack. And I believe I can make those. Yeah, 16 of those. And now 8 of those. And I should have, oh, I don't have the glass. By the way, I keep finding people asking me in the comments, how do I do this fast crafting? With NEI, if you get the recipe window open, hitting R while mousing over, if you shift left click on the question mark, it will pull out all the materials that you can craft and split them around evenly. If you can craft 7 electric engines, it will, as you can see, it didn't pull out all the brass and it didn't pull out all the glass. It pulled out exactly the right amount for the exactly what can I craft. So yeah, I got those engines. So okay, so now I have my basically power generation of Buildcraft available, the tool that I need, which is this. However, I'm gonna need the actual blue electric energy, and for this I'm gonna need something new altogether. I'm gonna go for a kinetic generator. That's something also relatively new. I think it was added basically the same time that this blue electric motor was added. So I'm gonna need some more copper coils. And let's just create a bunch of copper coils. Let's get half a stack of those copper coils made. I may need them in the future. So this kinetic motor can be operated in 2 different fashions. You can basically, you get the motor itself, but you can supply it with 2 different types of, I don't know what to call them, components or whatever, that will actually create the energy itself. Those components have durability, so you're gonna have to replace them eventually. But the motor itself, the kinetic generator itself, will never break. It's not supposed to break. So you can craft it safely without worrying about it. Okay, can I actually... Now I'm gonna need some more these guys. Then I have some spare iron bars now, but that's fine. So 2 of those, and 1 of these, and this. Okay, so there are 2 types of things or cells that you can supply it with. They also have very nice animation once they're set. This is the basic component, but eventually you can craft with it either a wooden turbine, a wooden wind turbine, or a wooden windmill. Now, as you can see, the wooden windmill is cheaper, but it also generates less energy. Actually, thinking about it, you know what, I'm gonna right off the bat go for a second one as well. What am I missing? Oh, I'm not clicking here. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a second kinetic motor as well. And yeah, I'm gonna build the components for both. Okay, so let's have 2 kinetic generators. So I'm gonna start with, of course, creating the higher tier. There is no reason creating the lower tier in my opinion. So right away, let's go create the higher tier. Now that's a very, I don't know what to call it, string. It's gonna require a lot of string, basically, a lot of string. So let's just start stealing from here. Let's see. For one, let's do some math. For 1 wooden wind turbine, I'm going to need 6 wooden cells times 4, that's 24, times 8. That's how many strings I'm going to need for 1 cell. So 24 times 8, let's see, 100 and almost 200, or basically 3 stacks. So let's just steal 6 stacks of strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to need a bunch of sticks as well. You know what? I can steal them from here as well. Where was I keeping the sticks? Okay, so let's just steal 2 stacks. I think it may be enough. And let's see if I can craft the cells right now. So I'm gonna need... Okay, let's just craft everything. Yeah, the 6 stacks of string should have been enough. I'm gonna craft those. 8 of those. Is that enough? No, I'm short on... Why was my math wrong? 6 times 6. Oh, it's 6 times 6, not... Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna need, I think, if 6 stacks of strings gave me 8, gonna need 4 stacks of strings. Anyway, yeah, a lot of strings. A lot of strings. I'm gonna need to supply this fabricator with more wool. Okay, so more of those. And more of those. That gives me still not enough. Okay, let me get the amount that I need. Okay, so I got 12 of those and also spare 8 canvas. I can, for the time being, just gonna store them. And to top it off, I'm gonna need I'm gonna go for the wind turbine. So I'm gonna need 6 iron slab strips. So I'm gonna need my handsaw. I think it's just about to die actually. It's still there, but not for long. Let's create 2 of those iron blocks. They should be enough, probably even too much as already, but let's start with 1. Okay, so, no, yeah, I'm gonna need 2. Okay, so 1, 2, and slab strips. 8 of those, and I got myself a turbine. Turbine. There we go, 2 turbines. And yeah, they don't stack because they take durability. So once they take durability, they cannot stack, just as well as all their industrial craft reactor components. You cannot stack them. Let me clear my inventory. And next up, I'm going to create a lot of batteries. I'm not gonna use any wire, any cables in that project at all. I'm simply gonna use battery boxes on their own as the network of energy. So yeah, I'm gonna off-screen create a bunch of those and have them available to me. Okay, so I got myself 8 electric engines, 32 battery boxes, 2 of those wooden turbines, and 2 of the kinetic generators. I got myself also 19 redstone conduits because that's the amount that I have right now. And I'm going to simply build this entire contraption somewhere around here out on the ocean. So for the time being, there will be no redstone batteries involved. Just going to connect it directly to the already existing power network. Later on I'm going to hassle myself with the actual storage, but for the time being I'm going to keep the magmatic engine that I have right over there, so it just keeps running until I have everything set up. You can actually see that the amount of liquid DNA that I'm having is getting stored very nicely here. Okay, so I'm gonna have 8 of those engines, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I do remember that there may be a problem for some reason those blue electric motors refuse to accept the fact they do connect to redstone conduits, but it doesn't, like, it looks kind of odd. It looks like they don't, but they do. So, however, because of that, I'm going to need to use an additional, let's use the hobbyist steam engine. I'm going to update every type of conduit to being the orange type, the one that accepts energy and not uses energy, like this. Because if I right click like this and move this move this motor over here, you'll see that it's not updated. Until it doesn't connect to something, it doesn't update. Whoops. Oh, that's bad. Okay, that's very bad. Never mind. Again, so until it doesn't connect to anything, the conduit will not update. But the redstone engine doesn't trigger it as being connected, but it does connect. It's kind of a funny thing, that the way it works, but yeah, no way around it. I need to update all of them to being extraction instead of being usage, so let me quickly do that. Okay, so I update all of them using my magmatic engines, and let's just place the actual those blue electric motors themselves and rotate them all to be facing the conduit. There we go. Now all of them will have the battery box behind them. Again, as I've said, there are no cables in this project. Battery boxes can move energy around just like cables, so I'm not going to use cables at all. The battery boxes can act as a network of energy on its own. And let's just connect it somewhere around here. Let's have it aligned with the actual power network. going like this, and then split it up. So let's have it going like this, and same location going up here, and then going up. So I do have 12, so each remaining 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, kinetic generators 1 and 2, and to top it off, just throwing the sail, and it starts working on its own. It has a very nice looking thingy on it. You can see that they look quite nice. They should start spinning eventually. I think I may have, you know what, this may be too low of an area to actually spin properly. You can see, already see that they start taking damage. Durability. It may be a very bad place to actually power this. Is there some power being generated? Yeah, but very little. Okay, so it starts spinning. This should start moving actually. But apparently the wind may be too low. Should I build it higher? Okay, you can actually see they're moving. You can see that it slightly starts to move. They do take some time. Okay, it does speed up. They do take some time to actually start, but eventually they do. And finally, let's power everything with redstone. Those engines require redstone signal, and they also will only work at the moment they have a significant amount of energy. It may be possible that 8 of those generators, those kinetic motors that I've been using here, are probably too much for 2 of those kinetic generators, even when they'll be running at full speed. But of course, when they'll be running at full speed, they'll be generating more energy, but you can see they're already starting to generate some. And also remember, it's being divided through all those battery boxes. But even when they're running at full speed, it may be possible that 8 of those motors are too much. However, it makes it easier to expand in the future, so like I already have the groundwork, just need to add more of those kinetic motors. Yeah, seems to be speeding up a little. The dial still seems to be kind of low. Let's give it some time though. Okay, so let's give redstone signal to everything. Very simply like this. Now obviously they're not gonna run because they don't have enough energy. They're going to have a minimum amount of energy until they start running, and you know what, I'm gonna cut the recording a little bit and wait until that happens. Okay, so those generators started speeding up exactly at night, and all those engines started working as well. Now you can see, I think, yeah, the energy here will probably balance out, or either slightly, every so often those will turn off for a second and then turn on, or if I'm generating more energy, this should actually ever so slightly go up. And now I should be generating a lot more energy. Let's see how my storage is going. Yeah, it's definitely filling up faster than it used to. Not very fast, but definitely faster. And this should also start going faster. Or not. I'm gonna give it some time. I was actually thinking just also on top of those kinetic motors, just throw a couple of solar panels there as well. They don't hurt. And they're a very cheap source of energy because they're infinite. Like once you place it, it's there. It's not going anywhere, and there you go. I already have 5 of those just sitting around, so let's just plop them on top of the actual battery boxes. There is no harm doing that. Just a tiny bit more energy. Yeah, okay, so 8 of those kinetic motors or generators, those blue electric generators, will consume more energy than... Yeah, those stopped right now. Why did they stop? Whoa, they actually dropped completely. I don't like that. Why did that happen? Is it because of the night? No. Maybe they need to be higher. Maybe the higher they are, the better, but why did it drop so suddenly? Well, anyway, I think I can afford to start to do some stuff with my bees here, with my tier 3 machines that I wanted to do. I'm considering whether or not to start it with this little amount of energy, because running out of energy midway is kind of silly. Can't really do much when that happens. I don't like the fact that it suddenly stopped. Although those engines, those engines seems to be still running. Yeah. Okay, so let's start using those tier 3 machines that I've been creating. Okay, so let's actually use them for something practical. Let me find something practical, a practical use for them. Okay, so I would like to get myself started on working towards the Thumbcraft bees, the Thumbig bees. And the Thumbig bees are eventually a strain of the Stark bees. Now, using some help from the interwebs, the very helpful source of all of us, it has a very complicated chain of bees until you get to the actual Stark bee, but eventually one of those basic bees will be the charmed bee. It's a type of bee that I haven't found yet in my database. It's not existent, so even if I found it by accident, it doesn't seem to be here. Oh wait, it actually is here. So apparently I did find the charmed bee. There we go. It's a resultant mutations of Valiant and Diligent. Now, for Valiant bees, I don't think I have a princess. Let's just rule that out quickly. I don't think I have a Valiant princess. Or actually, you know what? There you go, I do. So, actually, I can start creating, combining Valiant and Diligent. I can start creating one of the strains. Probably gonna need some of those frames again, but you know what? Let's give them the time. So, actually, let me see what else do I need. Okay, so there we go. Another strain of bee that I'm going to need is the Charmed and Valiant. Basically, whenever I finally get the Charmed one, I'm going to combine it with the Valiant bee. I want to see, I actually remember the Charmed, I think. It should be somewhere around here, or did I actually just use it or something? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to need Valiant again. And Valiant is a strain that I'm pretty sure I cannot create a template for. Let's actually give it a quick test. See, can I create a template for Valiant bees? Because they are kind of like a basic bee, a basic hive bee. Let's see if they are indeed one. Do I have a blank template here? No, I'm going to need to create another. Feel kind of derpy here. I wanted to give you guys a good example, but if this may be a bee that I can simply create a template for, then this is quite silly. Because this entire process is kind of unnecessary still. Okay, can I create a blank template for... There you go. Okay, problem solved. I cannot create a blank template for Valiant drones. So what I'd like to do instead is, using the empty serum vials, in my isolator, I'm gonna simply plop the empty serum vials here and plop those Valiant bees here. Now the isolator will start isolating all the traits that the Valiant drone has. You can see that the amount of energy it consumes is very high. And this is why I'm gonna need so much more energy. Yeah, this is silly. One trait after this and it's gone. Now the trait that it's gonna extract is completely random. But it's got exactly what I wanted. It's got a Valiant species serum. Exactly what I was looking for. It may have extracted something else altogether. Okay, so now I'm gonna plop it in the purifier to increase the quality. Because right now it's average quality. Actually, I'm not sure what's the what does quality mean. Like, what's the difference between an average quality or a better quality? But yeah, you can see sometimes the process may fail and it still will consume all the energy. So I still have problems with energy. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. May need to change the way this works. It still generates energy, but just not as much. This is kind of unfortunate. Yeah, until I don't have a very large supply of energy, those machines are kind of rendered useless. I cannot use them. I just can't. Like, using it once will kill my entire energy storage. So yeah, I also started creating some redstone. Started smelting some redstone to create some of those storage boxes, redstone conduit storage cubes, whatever they're called. But it's still, they can store energy, but if I have nowhere to get that energy from, that's not helping anybody. It would be great if I had a larger lava source and I could simply plop magmatic engines here instead, but that's not the case. So yeah, how much durability did my cells suffer so far? Yeah, 3 damage, and it's still not even showing. But their speed is really, really, really low. I may want to try to simply place them higher. I think that the higher they are, the better their speed can be, their potential speed. So yeah, let me get a lot more battery boxes and build them a lot higher. Okay, so I got 32 more battery boxes. So I'm gonna take every cell out and simply break it and build every one of them 16 blocks higher. So see if it makes a difference. Naturally, I think it should, and usually Redpower makes sense. Usually Redpower makes sense, not all the time, but usually it does. Okay, let's give it some time. And you know what, let's also try, okay, it shouldn't be, if they're closer nearby or not, shouldn't actually make a difference, so I'm not gonna try and bother separating them. Now what, why am I doing this like this? This is just silly. Let's do it like this. Can also break this and this and this, and make this a lot higher. Take it out, make it even higher. If height is the issue, it might not be, but if it is, and do this. I need to still have 7 left. Okay, and place it down. There we go. And build it one. Oops. Okay. And place it down and rotate it. Okay. Now it's even higher. Assuming it makes sense. It's not always the case. Yeah, it does seem to be speeding up faster. Or is it? Okay, so because they're working quite slowly, I decided to do some research, and apparently those engines, those cells, will work faster the lesser obstacles there are in the world. Now I think they may actually be hurting each other, the fact that they are like this. So let's try breaking one of them and simply placing it at a different height. It should, in theory, cancel the problem that it had speeding up. But apparently, yeah, the fact that I moved it up is quite a good thing. Okay, let's try and having it kind of like this. So going outwards, have it completely on a different height. And, whoops. They should now stop hurting each other. If that was the case, it may not have been the case, but if it was the case, now they're on different heights, so in theory they shouldn't be hurting each other, the fact that they are running on different speeds. And let's see how it works out. It does take time, this is a fact. It's something that will take time. They don't start right away. But the wind seems to be... yeah, it's going to require some testing. Okay, so I've been letting it run for quite some time. I also decided to add a little bit more solar panels here. Although this time around they're sitting on cobblestone and not battery boxes, so they don't have to fill as much storage instead of just using it. I did notice that closer to the motors, the battery boxes did start to fill up. So I guess maybe the fact that I am using battery boxes will make this entire internal buffer take a longer time to actually start up. But eventually whenever the batteries will get filled up closer to the actual engines, they will start working quite good, I think. Over time, it does seem like I'm creating more energy that I'm using, at least. Does seem like it, at least, though. For the time being, I'm going to simply let it run. However, I think the best solution I'm probably going to go for is either finally finding an age or finding the lava page and simply create a giant ocean lava and pump from it, or increase the productivity of my netherrack quarry by simply adding more magmatic crucibles and more engines powering them all. I think that will probably be the best solution. I was hoping a little bit too much, I guess, out of this solution out of this Redpower engine solution, but this is probably it's gonna be my best way to go. I don't know, just feel like it. It's already doing its job right now, but the problem is I think it's too much of a small scale. It simply needs to go higher. It's simply gonna need to have more engines, more magmatic crucibles, simply go larger, go bigger, and then I think it should be fine. Well, anyway, exploring that Redpower thingy, maybe over time, maybe eventually it will appear to be worth it. So far it's working, it's doing its job. My machinery has been receiving got their energy storage, they do have their energy storage capped pretty much. So I guess that's fine. This is still very low quality, and I run out of liquid DNA, and for some reason it doesn't fill up, even though it should. Oh wait, now it updated. That was weird. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Probably over time this will be a better idea. I'm also going to probably replace those conduits with actual batteries. I'm going to have much larger reserve of energy for every machine. I already started placing some redstone in my magma crucible and cooking it. I'm probably going to replace it eventually with those battery boxes, those redstone conduits battery boxes. So yeah, for the time being, I'm gonna let it run. I'm gonna let it go off screen, see how well it goes, and yeah. So as always, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.